What's poppin', gang, and them? It's your daddy loving, but y'all know my real name. And today I'm back at y'all with a full-length tutorial. Now lately I've been dropping buku shorts, right? Been showing y'all transformations, but I haven't gave y'all full length in a minute. So I'm here to drop one for y'all. Today he gonna be getting a drop fade, like a mid drop fade. As y'all can see, like he already kind of, been getting it drop faded anyway, so y'all can kind of see where it's at. But for those of y'all who don't know, I have moved to Florida, so this is a brand new location. I'm in a brand new spot located in Daytona Beach, Florida. So I'm gonna walk y'all through this right quick and also talk about my experience being here. So I got the one on it all the way open, and we just debulking right now. We just taking down the hairs that's gonna be faded, separating that from the hairs that's gonna be sponged. Also combing it out because I don't really know his pattern of hair. This is my first time ever cutting his hair, so I don't really know the pattern. So we just debulking, making sure that we evening out our surface of fading. So I come in with my babblers, my silvers. I make my first initial guideline. I keep my first guideline kind of low because he gonna keep the curve, he gonna keep the C-cup. So by him keeping that, I kind of want to keep the fade low to mid in order for the C-cup to actually show, so we can keep that area dark. But yeah, y'all, I up and moved to Daytona Beach, Florida, and the clientele here has been very, very different. But it's a good type of different. Like, they're very, very sweet, very nice. And for some reason, like, they got great skin and great hair here. I don't know what it is, but they great. I got my babblers all the way open, and we're making our very first initial fading guideline. So all the way open, I only go up about a half an inch though, because like I said, I kind of want to keep this fade like low to mid, because we want to keep that C-cup. So y'all can kind of see actually where his C-cup at, where his actual curve at. So we need to keep it dark around that area, so that's why we're keeping it low to mid. But then we're gonna go close. We're gonna I like to knock my lines out as I go. I don't like to do all the steps and then come back and knock it out. I like to actually knock it out as I go. So I got it all the way closed, and I'm actually using my corners. Y'all probably can't see, but I'm using more of my corner to knock out or fade or blend in that line that we just created with that all the way open. So I'm trigger playing right now. Right now it's open, and then we put that one on there all the way open. I just showed you all the way open. And we go up, and I'm actually like flicking out for real. You can't really tell, but I'm flicking out because we're about to put that 1.5 on there, and that's gonna be our initial. That's gonna be our last guard. So right now I'm just debulking again, the same thing that I did in the beginning, except I got the clipper closed. Because see all that extra hair that came out the top, all that needs to be faded in to make it even all around. So I had that one closed, now that one I opened it up, and I'm knocking that out, fading that on in, hitting that C-cup area, because even though we want to keep it dark, it still need to be faded so it can look proportionate. Then we got that 1.5 on there all the way open. And we hitting this last line. Now you can clearly see me flicking out here, and I'm flicking out because his hair gets real big at the top. Like, it's no in between. It's just straight from fade to hair. So make sure that y'all keeping the comb or brush at all times, because that's gonna be your best friend in making sure that this fade is correct. Now we got that half on there, or the 1/8 guard, whatever y'all want to call it, and I got it closed, and we're gonna knock out that line right there. So I got it closed. And we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna fade that in, and I'm flicking that out as well because we want to fade it in. We're building a fade. We're not trying to actually take the line out. We're just trying to fade the line in, right? Because we want a smooth transition. So yeah, you can kind of see how the fade came together just that fast, just with them few steps. So we did the one side, we're gonna do to another. I don't have to walk y'all through those steps. Y'all can kind of put 2 and 2 together. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna talk about my experience of being here in Florida. Like being here, I love the weather out here. Like, the weather outside is amazing. I get woken up by the sun every morning. It's a beautiful experience. The people here they're just beautiful people. Like, it's so diverse here. That's one thing I love about Florida. Like, you can walk outside and see Asians, Hispanics, black people, white people. Like, you can walk outside and just see a mixture of whatever. It's just so diverse here. Like, especially if you go to places like Walmart, Target, you're going to see so many different people. As opposed to being in Louisiana, you'll probably see a handful of white people and the rest of them black. You know what I'm saying? So, the diversity here is amazing. I love that. The shop that I'm actually in, the shop owner is amazing. She's great. Like, we got so much in common. Like, this is my first time I feel like I'm running into somebody that actually understands what it is that I'm fighting for, actually understand like where I actually want to be at in my life. She is like, we basically have the same mind as far as when it comes to like business, when it comes to our visions, our dreams. It's like they're in the same path. Like, we kind of align to kind of accomplish the same things in a sense. So I think that that's real amazing to have somebody that I can actually talk to and make sense, and she could kind of like finish my sentences, because we want the same things. Like, we want the same shit. So it's like, it's just amazing to have somebody that understands and see the same thing that you see and actually fighting for the same thing that you're fighting for. So that's a different feeling for me, because I don't feel like I ever really had that, especially coming from Louisiana. And I ain't saying Louisiana just such this old bad place. It just, I felt like I was just out of position. It's like I wasn't in the position that I wanted to be in, and there was nobody that was fighting for that position. So I really didn't have nobody to look up to or nobody to talk to that's going to understand exactly what it is that I want out of life or trying to achieve out of life. Right? So there's that. And then there's also a lot of people here, famous barbers, that live in Florida. It might not be this part of Florida, but in Tampa, we got Get Beam, Papa Beam. In Miami, we got Joe. Like, there's a lot of people that's out here in the barber industry. So that's always a plus. So we're going to get back to the haircut right now. I'm just combing out the lineup, anything that goes in the lineup, just kind of just separating that bush from the actual lineup so that we don't just dig straight in the bush. If you cut anywhere like behind where that hair is lined up at, then you could basically call that a pushback. So I take my one guard all the way closed. It's not going to knock off much, but it's going to knock off just enough that I need to even it out. So when I do line it up, you can actually see a lineup, and it's not going to be pushed back. So I got that one on there all the way closed, and we just debulk in the front line. And of course, I come in with my holding spray to make sure that every hair is in place, frozen in place, so that when I go to line it up, nothing moves. Right here, I turn him facing me, and I'm showing y'all it's much lighter on this side and pushed back on this side than it is on the other side. But I face him towards me so I can get this lined up as straight as possible naturally. So these are just my tap and goes. Once you have the correct holding spray, like I use the Tresemme Extra Hold, I feel like the Got to Be glue is kind of heavy. It's heavier for no reason. That's just my opinion. And it gives like that glue look. Like if you don't dry it, like you have to dry it with a blow dryer. If you don't dry it correctly, then you're gonna get like this drag of glue. I just hate it. I don't really like it. So that's why I use Tresemme. I feel like it could dry up on its own within a few seconds. But over here, I'm lining up the light spots, and I'm making sure not to push it back. Although it's naturally pushed back, it's naturally pushed up. I don't dig in it to where it's pushed up. I kind of like just ghost line it, right? So it probably doesn't look like it's lined up on that side because of the camera. I'm filming on my iPhone. But because of the camera, but it is not lined up on that side. It's actually ghost lined up on that side. So I line it up as even as possible, as even as I can get it naturally with my clippers. Just a better angle right here. And then I go on my Barber Magic pencil, and I just kind of just contour it, my lineup. Just because his lineup is light in the front, and it is something that he asked for. So I mean, we can naturally get it sharp, especially if we put the razor on it. Like if we knock it down, freeze it with the hairspray, and then put the clip on it, and then put the razor on it. Of course, it could be naturally sharp. But this is something that he asked for, so I mean, why not? So right here in the thin spot, of course, there was no hair there. It was a ghost lining. So I have to make sure that it's even on both sides. And for my curves, I like to do my curves last because I feel like I could do the lineup in the front, but if one curve is higher than the other curve, then it'll make the lineup look crooked off the bat. So then I come in with my spray gun. I think I have Have spray enhancements in my gun at the moment. Now I came to realize like this recently. Although I use the spray enhancement, this Have, whatever it is, it sprays on wet, but it dries up real dry and real light. So I came back on my the Rich Barber enhancement, so I can make it look a little bit realistic. So it don't look as flat and as dried up. So like as you can see, it's very, very dark. But if you just spray it regular, and I don't know if it's just this product, but if you just spray it regular, once it comes out dark. But once it dry up, it's like it dries up like this light color, and it just looks not realistic in my opinion. So I wet it, and I put my foundation on, and then I come back on my dry enhancements and I place them on. So I feel like that's a good thing to do because the dry enhancements has something to stick to. So once it's wet and you apply that dry, it holds on better than if you would just apply the dry, or if you was just to apply the wet. Then I come back with my trimmer, and I just outline that pencil liner that we made. Now, outlining this, putting the clipper on the line and then dragging it down gives it that contour look. So you're dragging the pencil away from the lining, right? So that gives it a not so clumped up pencil look. I just sprayed some enhancements on. I just sprayed some hairspray on to lock in the enhancements, the wet and dry enhancements. I sprayed that on to lock in both of them. Now, I actually sprayed that on because not only just to lock that in, but because I'm finna come back with the razor as well, and I'm finna line it up and give it that real ice pick lining. Like I'm talking about, like real lineup. So I needed every hair, every enhancements to stay in place. Because a lot of times we use a card, and with the dry enhancement, it'll still get beneath the lineup, if I'm making sense. So it's best to apply the enhancements and then apply your holding spray, and then come back with your clipper or your razor so that you can get that ice pick lining. anybody that know me know I love the razor. Like, I love the razor. Once I learned how to use the razor, I fell in love with using the razor. I use the razor on kids. I use the razor on anybody that slide through. I got to use the razor. I feel like it's not complete if I don't use the razor. The only people that I may not use the razor on is like elders, because their skin lose elasticity over time. And I just feel like it's very dangerous to use the razor over skin that doesn't have a lot of like pull to it. Like, their skin is very, very loose, so you'll have to pull, like pinch the head, you know. I feel like that's very uncomfortable for the client, and it's also very dangerous, because if you don't pinch it how you're supposed to, you could cut them. So right now I'm just dusting my client off, getting all the extra hairs out the way. Then we're gonna come in with the sponge. I didn't give y'all the full clip of me razoring, but you see it. So, and then I come in with some washing just to like moisturize his hair, because we did put the sponge on it, moisturize his curls. Alright, I dust them off for the last time, and this is the cut. YouTube, I appreciate y'all being so patient with me. I know I have not put out a full-length video in a minute, but I promise y'all I got y'all covered. This is the full cut. If you like it, like, comment, share, subscribe. 105 Gang, we out.